Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the first main building here. Sort of go through that process. Now, this is the final model of just the building itself. Now, the building we with time we sort of evolved to make this opening here that you see here on the sides to be sort of like universal for our hallways and connectors. And so all the connectors and hallways have the same shape, so you can put them in any way in any of these and they will fit. But I want to show you sort of like the original sort of process to get to this one here. And I'm going to open up here our very first prototype model that Talker did for this main set of like building. Now, um, originally we wanted to have something that had many openings and we could take it into different directions and connect other buildings and hallways and stuff like that. Sort of created sort of like a network type of building. And the challenging part was that originally this curved hole here was very hard to create new models to it. And so he came up with this attachment here that attaches to that as part of the building that makes it more uh, just a lot easier to create something that will attach to something like this that is a little bit flatter or flat, and it doesn't have that curvature. We still kept the curvature on the design, but we made this sort of like attachment here that will go into that in order for us to attach other things to it. And when he sent this model, we I went through the same process that I did the original image that I showed you earlier this week, and so I took this into Photoshop. Right, made a very quick sort of like a screenshot type of thing, and I tried to bring the same sort of vision and feel that I had for the original image that we made for the hallway into this. And so I did a very quick sort of like paint over just to kind of bring some of those details back into this. And one of the main things that I wanted was for these to have layering into the construction of this piece, right? And so if you can see here, everything's sort of like in the same plane of construction, right? There's no layers to this, very smooth like. And so a lot of the times for something this big that brings some scale issues and look issues into the design. And so with a very quick sort of like sketch over, I try to bring a little bit of that layering with different materials and different things that make it look that it's manufactured into the actual design, right? And so this gives the 3D artist an idea. Okay, so um, gives them an idea of what sort of details and how to continue building this piece, right? And we always start with the big shapes first, and then we start breaking it down from there. But from this, then we can get, our final, which is there's a render of this that you can see all the separation and different materials and the details that make it look like it's manufactured. And the same way that if I wanted to add different, let's say I wanted to add different add-ons to this, right? I do it the same way, right? So I sketch out some different ideas for different attachments that could go into this top of the building, right? Because right now we have the solar panels and we have some antennas. But what if we wanted to add some sort of like maybe like an AC unit or a cleaning purification type of unit that makes this room more of a cleaning, disinfectant sort of room, right? So we could add attachments to that. And the way I do this is just very quickly, very easy sort of setup. So let's say, for example, that I wanted to add something else up here. I'm going to just create a new layer. Very simple. And it's really all about the idea because, in our case with me and Tugger, I do sketches like this, right? And that's enough for him to go off and then he can put his own taste and vision into it. I'm just gonna grab some of the colors here, and I always start with the the major sort of shape in here. So let's say I want something a little bit taller, like so. Maybe it has like other pieces around. And I could go as detailed as I want. But the main thing that I want to make sure that I get first is the major shape or the general idea of this. Maybe this has like a little bit of a cable with some sort of tubing going around. I want to have some sort of maybe like a more sort of like a simple shapes, geometric shapes into the design, right? And you know, at this stage, I'm not really. Oh, this doesn't. We don't know exactly what it is, right? We don't know the main purpose for this, but I'm trying to get just sort of like a feeling first for this. Then I'm like, oh, maybe this could be like a really cool, you know, like a big sort of like AC unit fan that goes on top, right? Maybe we can see some sort of maybe some hoses or something being attached to the unit, right? And so I always do something like this first, just to kind of get the general idea. And you know, one of the main reasons is one, if let's say I do this right, and I'm like, maybe I don't like it. You know, I just spend like a minute or two just doing this, and I can do a couple of these and sort of figure out which one I like, right? Maybe I don't like this one, but I like this one. I'm like, okay, this looks very good. Then I can go into here, and if I need to, I can start adding more details and render it more and adding all the things that I would like to have in here. For the most part, Target can just take something like this and just build it up based on the design that is already existing here, and just build something that looks like this based on using the same design language. And so I don't really need to, in our case, I don't really need to go into super detail for this sort of additions to the model. But this is how we treat our part of, you know, the beginning stages of the design process whenever we want to add new stuff to the already existing uh, models. And we want to continue, of course, adding more modular pieces that we can attach and make this uh, a bigger modular kit, right? And so that's sort of how we start designing. We'll go more into other designing aspects with other parts of it, but generally that's sort of our process for it.